Give me the rundown. What mistakes you see first-time PadSplit hosts make?
So one mistake is not setting up your listing properly. You want to make sure your lot codes are correct. You want to make sure your move-in instructions are correct. We are literally a tech company that is a real estate platform, but you want to utilize it so you can attract the right folks to your property. Second thing is not doing your own screening. If you are particular about your household, make sure that you're vetting people to the standards of your household.
Do the work.
Do the work.
If you're going to be particular like that, do the work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another thing that I see is that people kind of micromanage their households. This is an investment, you guys. Yes, this is your household. But if you had a long-term tenant in there, you're not watching the cameras every single day.
Not at all.
Don't overanalyze. Really focus on bigger picture.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Co-Living Investing Podcast. I am your host, Ashley Jeffers. And on this podcast, we talk long-term room rental investing, entrepreneurship, and tech. Tonight, I have a special guest with me, Dominique Rice. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, everyone. I am Dominique Rice. And Ashley, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Happy to have you here. Dominique and I have been working together for, 6 months now?
Yeah.
Maybe longer? So Dominique is a host advisor for PadSplit. So, Dominique, just for a sec, you want to tell us what PadSplit is?
Yes. So, PadSplit is the nation's leading co-living platform. Individuals are able to put their properties on our platform to rent by the room. So, we just specifically focus on room rentals.
Okay. So, with you being a host advisor, your role is centered around helping new hosts onboard onto PadSplit's platform.
Yes.
Right.
So my role is to help individuals wherever they are obtain their first property or onboard the properties they already have onto our platform. I work with investors who are motivated and who have properties, and investors who are looking to grow and scale. So not kind of your mom and pop, one unit, one house. I work specifically with investors like you who have multiple properties and the goal to get multiple properties.
Yeah. So what does a property have to look like? What is the ideal setup for a property to make sense as a room rental investment property?
Every market's different. I really like to see properties with 4+ bedrooms. In a perfect world, to really cash flow in a lot of markets, you need that 6 to 8 bedrooms. It really just depends on what market you're in. So I help hosts determine what the need is for their unique market. In Charlotte, I see success with 4 bedrooms. I see super success with 6 or more.
Oh boy. Or more.
Yes.
What's the most rooms you've seen in a property? Now, before you answer this, let's keep it compliant. So you may not want to reveal too much because here in the city of Charlotte, I do know that per zoning, up to 6 people, unrelated people, can live under one roof. But PadSplit has a little bit of a workaround to that as far as the lease agreement is concerned. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So I don't talk much about our lease agreement. We have a great attorney on staff, Charles, who can meet with us and can talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
But we do have opportunities, and Charlotte is a very friendly municipality for co-living and PadSplit. Super supportive of our mission thus far. And so we haven't seen those concerns. But that is something that is archaic and in the books in many municipalities. And it's something that's changing. It's something that's changing over time. And due to the need for affordable housing, we see a lot of shifts in that.
Okay. So you could see upwards of 7, 8, 9 rooms.
10, 12, 13.
Really?
Yeah.
One property.
One property.
In Charlotte?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline because I need details because I won't go past 7.
Okay.
6 is where I try to stay. I think 7, I thought 7 was a little risque, but now talking to you, we might have to get into how to get more rooms under one roof.
Absolutely.
So when we're talking about PadSplit, I get this question all the time. How much does it cost to be on PadSplit? What am I going to have to pay them? So break it down for us. What are the fees associated with adding your properties to the platform?
Definitely. So I'm an investor myself, and one thing I love about PadSplit is that PadSplit only makes money when you're making money. So there's no upfront fees. There's no back-end fees. There's no fees to be on the platform. We make money at PadSplit when our investors make money. So that's what I love. There are 2 unique fees with PadSplit.
Okay.
The first fee is what we call a booking fee. So anytime we find someone to rent that room, we charge a one-time fee of the first 10 days, which is about 1/3 of the month. So if you're renting that room for $900 a month, that fee is approximately $300 for finding that person to rent that room. Whether they stay 2 months or 2 years, that's a one-time fee.
Okay. Is there a management fee? Ongoing management fee?
Yes. And the ongoing managed fee after the booking fee is 8% ongoing.
Okay. So I make $5,000 for the month in rental income. PadSplit is going to take that first 8% from that $5,000 as their management fee for the month. Okay. Can you fill us in on what types of services that PadSplit offers? Because I know that some investors think of PadSplit as a property manager,
right?
But PadSplit does not manage property. Like PadSplit is not sending a plumber out if the toilet gets clogged up, right?
Right.
So can you kind of give us an idea of how PadSplit serves its investors that bring properties onto their platform?
Definitely. So I consider PadSplit kind of like your back end. So PadSplit does the things that do not require stepping foot on the property. We're not furnishing your property. We're not sending a plumber. We're the back end. So the first thing that PadSplit does is we do marketing. So we spend a substantial amount of money each month, and we continue to increase this because we're growing new markets.
Okay.
So we spend over $1 million a month in marketing.
What? Say what now? Say
over
what?
$1 million in marketing.
Woo!
Which is why if you're doing co-living on your own, like I know you're doing a great job, but if you're really looking to scale, your marketing can never touch the marketing that PadSplit is doing. And so the algorithm is just pushing down your results. So it's kind of like, get down or lay down, lay down or stay down kind of vibe. Like it is, we're the biggest, we're the best, and so that's what it is.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
$1 million a month. Okay. So you're the back end. You serve as the marketing arm, which means you are driving traffic being individuals looking for rooms to rent, driving them onto the PadSplit platform, and connecting them with those who have properties with rooms for rent.
Correct. And before we connect them, we do screening.
Okay.
So we do a screening. Mm-hmm. So we do a comprehensive background check. And we do income verification. Mm-hmm. And I like to be very clear. We don't necessarily say, where do they work? Because someone said, you didn't tell me where they worked. I'm like, we don't do that. We verify their income to make sure that they make 2 times the required rent in order to live in that property. Yeah. So once the individual is screened, then and only then can they request to book your room. Okay. So you do a background check, you do income verification. Something that you mentioned is that you're only looking for 2 times, as far as their income, you're looking for 2 times what the rent is at least. Whereas a traditional apartment unit would be looking for 3 times the rent. So that's a big deal when we're talking about affordability. Right. Do you check for credit scores? We do not. So at this time, PadSplit does not check credit scores. Mm-hmm. And I consider PadSplit, in my personal opinion, a second chance program because we allow individuals that have 1 eviction, and that's it. So they can't have more than 1 max eviction over the last 7 years because anything more than 1 is a pattern. So being second chance is giving people the opportunity to say, hey, you may have had a hardship or you may have had something that have happened that caused you to have an eviction. And it might not just be money. It could be you had a family issue or domestic violence situation. And so as an investor, we want to be cautious on who we rent to, but also having compassion to look at the individual as a whole. Because life be lifing. Okay, stuff happens beyond our control. And so you have a lot of people out here that's just trying to recover from, something that has set them back, and that should not disqualify them from having a quality place to live. Right. So that's one of the things that I love about PadSplit. So as an investor,
you mentioned the screening that PadSplit does. Am I allowed to do additional screening if I want to?
Yes. And so as someone who's developing co-living myself currently, I encourage all investors to do another round of screening and to have the opportunity to get to know the person. So
Get on the phone
with them, talk to them, vet them, whatever your requirements are. I have someone that I work with that requires a identification before they approve them. Mm-hmm. So you have 24 hours to decline. If you do not decline within 24 hours, the system will auto book them.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue that I've seen investors have, well, I didn't accept them. Well, next time decline them first. Mm-hmm. And then you can send them a message. I'm going to decline you because we weren't able to connect for your screening, but feel free to reapply.
Yeah.
I'm not declining you because I think you're a bad fit. It's just I need to talk to you, or I need to have your license, or whatever their protocol is for their property.
Got you. So one question that I get a lot is, well, does PadSplit help with like when the tenants have a conflict amongst each other? Or as an investor, a PadSplit host, am I responsible for managing tenant conflict?
So PadSplit has 24/7 member support. And one of our leading principles is compassion and compassionate directness. And so, but I still encourage homeowners to be a part of the solution too, because it is your household and you want to make a good fit. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that people feel comfortable and you're involved in the process. So while PadSplit is there to be the liaison, the homeowner has a final decision.
Yeah.
So an example of this is I had a host who had one person had bad reviews. Didn't do anything wrong, always paying on time, but people just didn't get along with him. Like he didn't hurt anybody or curse anyone out. He just wasn't a good fit, and they have 8 bedrooms. So 3 people don't like one person. You kind of want to keep those 3 people happy.
Absolutely.
So he let us know. We helped that person find another property. We contacted the owner of the other properties that he was interested in to let them know. So we're not just going to pass someone off to Ashley.
Right.
Hey, this person's not a good fit here. Go to Ashley's house.
Yeah.
We would contact Ashley and say, this is what happened. This is the kind of complaints we've heard about this person. Do you think he would be a good fit for your house? Mm-hmm. And there was someone that's like, actually, yes, because this is a smaller home and, these people work a lot. It's his similar demographics. I think he'd be a good fit for here. And then he transferred to that property. And so to have that support and to have someone guiding you through, if you're doing your own room rental, you would just have to ask them to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the beautiful things about, as an investor, having your properties on PadSplit's platform. If you do run into a situation like that, you don't have to go through an expensive eviction process.
Right.
You can just ask that person or inform that person that it's not a good fit for them to live in your unit. We invite you to explore other opportunities on PadSplit's platform. I've had to do it. I've had to extend the good old 14-day notice to vacate.
Yes.
Because the individual was not a good fit for everyone else in the house. Yep. And I've had to, in my entire investing career, I've had to do one real eviction.
Okay.
Where I had to pay the attorney.
Okay.
And I had to be there when the sheriff came out and pay $25 for the sheriff to come out. It's nasty work to have to do evictions.
Right.
And so in this type of environment, just being able to just explain to the person it's not a good fit.
Right.
Right. But you have other opportunities to just move on to another property and start fresh.
Absolutely.
And so that saves a lot of time and energy from the investor perspective for sure. Give me, from your experience, give me the rundown, be 100% honest about what mistakes you see first-time PadSplit hosts make.
Okay. So I'll give a few examples. So one mistake is not setting up your listing properly. Mm-hmm. So you want to set up your listing so it flows. You want to make sure your lot codes are correct. You want to make sure your move-in instructions are correct. PadSplit is a tech company, okay? We are literally a tech company that is a real estate platform. So our technology is superb. So, but you want to utilize it.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure it's accurate. Mm-hmm. So setting up your listing properly, taking the proper photos, having the proper photos on so you can attract the right folks to your property.
Yeah.
So starting off with a correct and concise listing.
Okay.
The second thing is not doing your own screening. If you are particular about your household, so there are a lot of people who are very particular, and I respect them. There are a lot of people who do auto booking, and I respect that too.
Sure.
But if you're going to be particular, make sure that you're doing your screenings. Make sure that you're vetting people to the standards of your household. Don't let people come in and then you're like, oh, I didn't know that they were going to do this, or I didn't, have those conversations up front. Talk about the standards of that household if you have these tight rules for your property.
Do the work.
Do the work.
If you're going to be particular like that, do the work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another thing that I see is that people kind of micromanage their households. This is an investment, you guys. Yes, this is your household, but if you had a long-term tenant in there, you're not watching the cameras every single day.
Not at all.
So think about it as like, yes, this is a tool. So you have those cameras and you have the ability to do that, but this is an investment. Don't overanalyze. Don't focus on what someone did today. Don't focus on those things. This is a business, and just really focus on bigger picture. And then I would say, and the final thing is not setting up the property for success. So not making sure the property is functional, not having the right lock codes, not having the proper furnishing, so don't be janky.
Advice of the day, don't be janky.
There we go. If you're not janky, everything will flow with PadSplit.
Right on. Okay. Let's switch gears a little bit. You're an investor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we haven't had a chance to talk about the big things that you're doing up in New York. So we gotta spend some time with that. Yeah. So you are a real estate developer.
Yes.
And in New York, you are developing affordable housing.
Yes.
Give me all the details. Like, what does that look like? Is that single family homes? Is it multifamily? What's your target market when it comes to your tenants? Are you looking for veterans or senior citizens? Give me the rundown of what you're up to in New York.
Yeah, so I am based in Charlotte, North Carolina. I develop affordable housing in my hometown where my family is from, Binghamton, New York. So I commute. I focus on PadSplit on the Southeast. So my PadSplit career takes me to Baltimore, Philadelphia sometimes, DC, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham. So I really cover this territory. So I try to stay on East Coast time zone, do a little bit in Chicago and Detroit. But my personal development, I am passionate about affordable housing. And this is why I'm here at PadSplit, because I truly believe in affordable housing. So I have a family project that is a 4-unit multifamily project that we are developing for extremely low housing. So extremely low income. And I have worked diligently over the last 2.5 years, and we've raised almost $600,000 in grant money.
What?
For this project.
Wait a minute. Hold on. First of all, grant money you don't have to pay back.
Correct.
Secondly, $600,000?
Yes.
You raised this on your own, or do you have a team? Like, how does this happen?
My mom is my teammate.
Okay.
She just my mom and I work together a lot on this project. It took a long time to raise this, almost 2.5 years. And we're super thankful. We're finally received the funds, so we should be breaking ground on these projects this spring.
Okay.
On this particular project.
Amazing.
And while I was developing my personal project, a nonprofit, a BIPOC-led nonprofit organization contacted me to do pre-development for their project.
Okay.
So I've helped them raise almost $1.1 million in the last 2.5 years for their project, and we hope to break ground this spring as well.
What?
So it's really cool.
When do you sleep?
So stop texting me at 7 o'clock in the morning. People.
Because let me be really clear. Dominique is my host advisor for PadSplit. So whenever I have questions, I have suggestions, I need support, Dominique is my go-to. She's assigned to me as my host advisor. And in working with her, not only does she help me with my properties, but we also partner when it comes to having my PadSplit sponsored once a month meetups. Yes. So Dominique and I, we spend a lot of time together. We talk a lot about co-living and investing in all things PadSplit. And from what I've observed, you work really hard for PadSplit. You are really good onboarding new hosts, PadSplit hosts. You really care about people being successful and making sure that they have what they need. So I'm seeing you put in the work, and I'm seeing you work hard. So the fact that you work hard for PadSplit, and in your personal and your spare time, whenever that time may be, you're out here raising millions of dollars for affordable housing. That is truly amazing. That's remarkable. So no one can ever question when Dominique says that she is passionate about affordable housing. No, she actually means it. Like, she has the numbers to back it up. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On that success already. Like, even before the ground breaks on those projects. That's amazing. So when you said extremely low incomes, I've never heard the term extremely low income. What range are we talking about as far as like a salary or?
So the population that I want to serve for my personal projects with my mother, we have 3 one-bedroom units.
Okay.
So I really want to target individuals who are living in motels, who are already doing room rentals.
Yeah.
We'd like to price those at $401 per month for a one-bedroom apartment, because that's the amount of money that Department of Social Services pays for them.
No, you mean a week.
No, a month.
$401 a month.
Yes.
For a 1-bed, 1-bath, like apartment.
Full apartment. That's extremely low income. That's really doing affordable housing.
It doesn't get any more extreme than that.
Yes.
Okay. And it's the grant money that will cover. Does the grant money help? Like, I'm so like intrigued about how you're able to support individuals who probably can only afford $400 a month.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So upstate New York is a little bit different. And so that apartment could easily rent for, especially being fully remodeled, $1,200 to $1,500 per month if we targeted a different demographic, just because it's going to be energy efficient, all of that. And so we're able to do that because we got these subsidies to be able to develop.
Wow.
So that's why, when we receive these subsidies, we want to be good steward of state and federal money as well as local municipality money by truly serving a population that otherwise would be unhoused.
So, what's your outlook? How long do you think that as a country we're going to be in this affordable housing crisis?
I don't see an end solution to affordable housing at this time. This is why with PadSplit, as investors, we can take what we have and we can create our own, as private investors, we can create affordable housing as well as an income line for ourselves.
Yeah.
So not everyone can do $401 per month. Not everyone can get grant money, but we can go get a mortgage and we can buy a house and we can rent by the room and we can help our neighbors and still cash flow.
Yeah.
And it's the ultimate believer that by providing co-living, everyone wins.
Get paid well to do good.
That's right.
Yeah. So what markets is PadSplit in today?
We're in 25 markets. So we've just launched Nashville. I went to high school outside of Nashville. We launched Portland, Seattle, Sacramento. I really focus on about 7 markets. So
really?
Charlotte, Raleigh-Durham, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., a little bit in Richmond, Kansas City, Chicago will be launching, as well as Detroit is launching. So technically that's 8. And those are the markets that I'm super passionate about. I can help investors in any market, any of our core markets. But I'm really, for my time purposes, I don't want a ton of clients in LA, trying to really respect my time boundaries.
Right.
And, focus East and Central time zone. But those are markets that I have really built an infrastructure where I can get you a realtor, I can get you a contractor, I can get you a lender, I can get you everything you need to be successful in those markets.
Oh, so you bring in all of those different professionals to help an investor get started in room rental investing.
Absolutely. I help
See, this is the hard work. This is the hard work that I was talking about, that she brings in a whole team for you.
Yes.
So when we're talking about how you help investors assess whether a property is going to make sense or not for PadSplit, I know you mentioned like number of rooms. Do you help them run numbers?
Yes. So I teach investors how to run the numbers for PadSplit. So I give you the tool so you can successfully run the numbers on your own. I train you just as if with the sheets that I personally use to underwrite deals. So what I do a first call with investors who are ready to move forward, who are serious, that are ready to move forward, ready to learn about lending. And then I do a second call that I call Numbers and Solutions, where I teach you how to underwrite specifically for PadSplit.
Wow. That's amazing. I don't know of another like industry where you have professionals within that industry that are so hands-on.
Right.
You not only bring the team, but you help them do the analysis,
Right.
run the numbers so they can actually see what they're getting themselves into.
Yes.
I guess what challenges do you see most with investors that are looking for the money? Is there funding out here for an investor to buy these properties, or are they dependent on what we as investors are used to seeing as your DSCR loans? Is there anything outside of what we're used to seeing as far as like we know private money, we know DSCR, rental loans. Is there any other funding that you're aware of? Like you talked about grant money out of New York. Is there anything like that in the Southeast that you're aware of?
Not for PadSplit. There's not. I tell people if you're looking to invest in co-living, you need to have some money.
Okay.
So this is something you need to save up for. You need to get your money. You need to get your partners. There's opportunities for owner finance solutions, and
Sure.
and your meetup. We'll talk about that as well. But you really need to have some money.
Yeah.
And you need to have some money for the what ifs and for the roof and for the hot water heater. So this isn't a game where you can just get in with no money, have your bag put up, and be ready to spend a little bit.
Yeah. That's no different than a traditional real estate investor. We are taught to have reserves,
Right.
Cash reserves, because things will come up with your room rental properties just like they do with your traditional rentals. Just 2 weeks ago, I get a message within my PadSplit account from one of my room renters that says, "Hey, Ashley, you need to send someone over here. I hear something in the attic. There is something in the attic that is gnawing on something in the attic.
What?
And so you need to get someone over here ASAP."
Okay.
And so it's like, oh, that's not good. So drop everything I'm doing. Reach out to, like, I'm in Charlotte Real Estate Investors Facebook group. Like, my tenant hears something in the attic. Who is our go-to for wildlife? And so they told me to call Rob. Shout out Rob. Rob got out to the property as quickly as he could. There was a squirrel. There was a squirrel in the attic. So he had to set a trap humanely. Squirrel was not harmed during the process of capturing him. But that wasn't on my bingo card for
Right.
December for there to be a squirrel in one of my rental property attics. Thank God I have cash reserves to cover me in situations that come up that I just did not anticipate. And so the way it works is Rob goes out there, he sets his traps in the attic, assesses where the animal is coming in from, patches that up. Once he catches the squirrels, he releases them. Like he takes them, like literally takes them to the countryside and releases them. But he shared something with me that Charlotte's got a squirrel problem.
Really?
Yes, he said because of all of the new construction, all of the new apartment complexes that are going up, all of the new houses that are being built, our wildlife is just trying to find a place to go because their homes are being taken away as trees are being knocked down. Things we don't think about until stuff like this comes up. So yeah, just driving the point home that as real estate investors, whatever niche you choose, you have to have money. You have to have cash reserves. And in terms of having money, it doesn't necessarily have to be your own money.
Right.
That's where private lenders come into play. And so it really is important to network as much as you can. Like I said, Dominique and I, we host a monthly meetup here in Charlotte in person. The next one is we host them every fourth Thursday. Every third Thursday. See, Dominique here in the clutch, helping me get my facts straight. So this next meetup, we will be focused on room rental property managers. So you have your traditional property managers that don't know anything about room rentals or very little or don't want to touch them at all. And then you have those property managers that specialize in room rentals. And so connect with us. Come out to an in-person meetup and start to make connections if you're interested in getting into this business model. Dominique,
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're amazing. I had no idea. Like I knew, but now I really know you're amazing. So best of luck to you. Forget the luck. Blessings to you in all of the things that you are pursuing. I know that they're going to be successful because you work hard and you are really passionate about what you do. And so thank you for being here. We will make sure that In the show notes, people are able to contact you, so we'll put your contact information there. If you are serious about co-living investing, specifically putting properties on PadSplit, connect with Dominique. She's not going to steer you wrong. She shared this evening a wealth of knowledge already, and so that should be an indicator to you that this is the right person to connect with if you are interested in pursuing the room rental business model, specifically placing properties on PadSplit. So that's our episode. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.